Ashley Bohm. I just went triple last month. I've been in this business for 4 years now. Whenever I started this business, I had just dropped out of college and I was really, really looking for something that, not only like gave me money, but like I was really looking for something that would help with like my confidence. At the time, like I really didn't have a lot of friends. I would always be that person who was like, if I didn't get like a certain amount of likes on my page or like my post on Instagram, I like delete it. I was very, very self-conscious about like the things that I posted. So for me to jump into this and, really run with this, it was like, I feel like a shock to like everybody. I'm sure whenever I joined, my family was like, because I joined my cousin, I'm sure she was like, what are you doing? But I had seen her posting on Facebook and she was just posting like, it was like one graphic that I saw. And it was nothing like the post that we make now. I feel like back then it was so different. But she had posted that like people can, kind of work part-time and make a full-time income. And she said that she was going towards Diamond and a $10,000 bonus at the time. And I was like, okay. So I ended up meeting up with my aunt and I joined. I literally knew nothing. I was like, can I be a customer and a distributor? I literally had no idea what I was doing. And I had signed up and I was that person who like I set up my auto shipment. I ran my e-suite every single month. Like I bought like a car decal. I bought like all these business cards and I didn't do anything, like literally nothing. I would post like once a week and it was like, oh my God, I get like the memories because it was like 4 years ago on my Facebook. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I posting? Like it was so cringe. But just for like the longest time, like I said, like it was something that just wasn't me. So I was really, really concerned about like what people would think about me. At the time I was 19 years old. So, like there's a lot of people who even now like are still rude. And I'm sure you guys are all really young. So you guys probably understand that. I was just worried what people were going to say about me. And even though I had put myself out there, I wasn't ready to like take that next step to really, really jump into it. So I had joined in February and then it took me until like the end of September to really start working the business. But and that's why I always say, and I know if you're on my team, like you hear me say this all the time, but for people who have never heard it, like that's why you don't give up on people right away. Like don't give up on someone if they don't run right away or they don't respond to your text. I can't tell you how many times my cousin was like, so when are we going to have your launch party? I'm like, never, you know what I mean? Like I never replied to her. And so it took me a really long time to get started, but you just never know who's going to come out of that. So like, don't be mean to them. Don't remove them from team pages. Like I was always that person who was like still stalking the team pages, even though I wasn't doing anything. I had gotten like my first 4 customers and I think I joined at the end of February. So I had until like the end of March to go Ruby or something like that to get that $500 Ruby bonus at the time. And I was just like really discouraged that I didn't hit that. That first distributor that I signed up within like 2 days of enrolling didn't do anything. And I think at the time I thought, oh my gosh, like I signed my first distributor. Now I just need one more and I'm going to be making $300 a month. And it doesn't work like that. Like 80% of people quit this business and you'll find that 20% of people who stick with it. And I didn't know that like when I first started. So that's why I always tell people to just, stick it out, even if you're not, getting those results right away. But as far as once I actually started working the business, I went executive that first month. The month after that, I went Ruby. And then I went to my first conference. I did not have the money to go to conference, guys. I mean, as a Ruby, I was making like $400 a month. So for me to say like, oh yeah, I'm going to go spend all this money, go to Florida, go to conference. I didn't have the money at all, but my upline told me to do it. And it was always in the pages, like, you need to go to conference. I'm like, okay, so I'll go. And that month that I went to conference, I went Emerald and Diamond within the same month. And then I sat at Diamond. Gosh, I mean, yeah, I was Diamond, but then I lost my Diamond and I got it back. But I mean, I had lost my bonus. It was a really hard time in my business. And at that time, like that's when I wanted to quit. It took me 25 months to go from Diamond to double. And I think that so many people, well, with the momentum we have right now, like you can do it a little bit faster, but I can say like, I wasn't putting the work in that I wasn't being a leader to my team. I wasn't working every single day like I am now. So I think that that is a huge difference. But that was March. Cheyenne and I literally went double the exact same month. And I think that so many people can get caught up. And I was even watching her video the other day about like Morgan McIntyre or Martin, like we joined at the exact same time. And now look at her, like you could compare yourself to those people, but like your journey is your journey. So whenever, like I went double and like Cheyenne went double and then she went triple and then she went pres and now she's about to go ambassador. You know what I mean? Like I could have compared myself, like, why am I not in the top 150? You know what I mean? And I'm not going to lie. There are times that I've thought that, but that's like her thing. You know, like that's her journey. She's built her team, and I have my own team and my own journey. And then just last month, so it took me from double to triple. It took me 11 months to go there. And now it's like, now I'm just working towards prize. And it's like, even if it takes 2 years, guys, like it's okay. Like this, like there's literally no rush in this. And it's like, as long as you know you're going to stick it out forever, it literally doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there. It's just knowing that in your heart and your soul that you're doing this stuff every single day to just get to that goal. And it's like, I know in that video you were saying like, everyone's asking, when am I going ambassador? It's like, I don't know. Like I'm doing my work every single day and it's going to happen whenever God wants it to happen. I think that's super important. And especially at us at such a young age, like, you know, we don't have patience. We see people and we're like, okay, like I want to get my first house. Like I want to do this and I want to do that. And it's like, guys, like, do you understand nobody is at our level? Even if you're even have the vision of where It Works is going and you're like a distributor, nobody at your age is at your level, like with It Works. You know what I'm saying? Like there's people who are your age who like are literally living off of $300 a month and asking their parents to fix their tire when their tire popped or whatever it might be, and still living with their parents. And there's nothing wrong with that. Whenever I first started, I was literally living at Trey's dad's house. And from then, like, Trey's my fiance, if you guys don't know. Boyfriend at the time, fiance now. But we were living at his dad's house and we got an apartment. And then just in November, we just we literally bought our first house, and like the down payment and the closing costs and all of that was used with our It Works money. But like 3 years ago when I went diamond, I'm thinking like, I want this now. And it's just like, I know it's cheesy because Haley and I were just talking about like hills and valleys. Like it just happens. Like there's ups and downs. And I think that that's so important to just not be in a rush and know that even if it takes you 8 more years to go ambassador, who cares? There's literally no rush at all. So I know I'm just like going on, but yeah.
I love that. Like that sticks out to me so much. Like it took you 25 months to go double. And so many people would have quit in between that. Like, that's just so amazing. I had some people on my team text me like, did she say 25 months? I'm like, yeah, she did.
Yeah. And like whenever I went diamond, I was only paid diamond for, I think, like 6 months. And then I lost it. And I was paid ruby for 7 months. And like from going from like $3,000 a month as a diamond to making like $300 a month as a ruby, like I was like, what the heck? Like the company's falling apart. My friends are leaving. I thought everything was going wrong, but I was like, I'm not a quitter. I've quit everything else in my life and I'm not going to give up on this. Like this is the one thing that I'm sticking with. I've already been doing it for so long. I'm not going to give up on it. I've seen that big paycheck. And if I can get there once, I know that I can get there again. And I think that that is just so important that people just give up whenever they see that drop in their check or they're not seeing the results, you know, that they want in customer enrollments or distributor enrollments. And I think that it's just so important to stick it out, even if you're not seeing what you want to see right away, because there's no time stamp on a dream, guys. There's nothing that like and I always say this, it's like, if I would have like given up on that whenever like I remember I was on the cruise and my friend Mariah, and she's on here right now, she was being paid as a diamond. I was being paid as a ruby. It was on the second cruise and she goes, commissions just posted. And she was so excited. And I'm like, cool. Like, I don't care, you know, like I don't want to look at my $300 paycheck when I was making $3,000 a month. And then who would have known that just a few months later, I'd get my diamond back and I would maintain my diamond. I went double and I've maintained my double the entire time. I never lost my double diamond. And I went triple and I'm never going to lose my triple because I put it out there and I work my ass off for it. And I just work for it every single day. And I put it out. I'm literally, I can't lose it. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel like so many people, like they hit a rank and they're so excited about it. But guys, you have to work harder the next month. Like after the month after you hit a rank, you got to work just as hard. Like hitting a rank doesn't mean crap if you're not maintaining that rank. It's not cool to look at a $2,000 paycheck and then it go down to $700. Like I've seen that, you know, and I think that's why my team, like we've grown so strong. And because like I'm open about the things that I've gone through, and they all know that there's nothing that they face that I haven't faced, you know, in the past 4 years. And I think that just being like open with your team is so huge. So.
Yeah. I mean, I love that both of us have kind of done that because my whole team knows I lost rank after I went diamond for so long. And I was seeing these $200 paychecks, and one thing, come back in everyone, one thing between both of that, through both of us and through the story she just told, imagine if we would have quit.
Right. She
would have missed out on triple, a $25,000 bonus, a house. You know, she probably wouldn't have her baby right now because she wouldn't have been able to afford it. Like nothing. Her life would be completely different. And I would have never gone presidential, would have never gone triple. imagine that just gets me because I think about all the people that quit. Like, what if they wouldn't?
Well, and it's like, it's nothing to do with the company. It's literally to do with their work ethic. And it's hard, it's a hard pill to swallow. Like to say that that paycheck went down because of my work ethic was shit. You know, I'm sorry, but it's true,
No,
you know?
no.
And so many people, like, they want to blame the company, or they want to blame like, oh, well, I had a baby, or like, you know, I'm working more hours at work, or I got the flu, or whatever. Like, who cares what happens in your life? You got to keep working this. If it was your 9 to 5, you would go to work every single day. So what does that make a difference? Not every single day, but whatever.
Yeah.
Friday to Monday, or Monday to Friday. See, that's how I don't even know. I don't care about a 9 to 5 because I don't work one.
So I want you to kind of talk about how this business has kind of gone through all of your, you know, life transitions. I know you've had a lot of life changes, especially recently. So can you go over that a little bit?
Yeah. So it's crazy because like right after I went double, so I went double in March of last year. So this time last year, and in June, well, I guess it would have really been May, but I found out late that I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant. It's so crazy because like God like put this business in my life, like for me to know that, like, it's so crazy to think that like I went double and then I found out I was pregnant. Like diamond income doesn't like work for you being able to stay home and take care of your kid. Like, let's just be honest. Double income is that income where you're making, you know, $5,000 to $8,000 a month, where like you can stay home with your kid. You know what I mean? So it was like right when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy that I just went double. I've been able to maintain it the past 3 months. Like I'm just going to keep putting the work in. So like never when I went double, except for like 3 days, because Trey was like, you can't drink caffeine. And I like literally bawled my eyes out and I was like, I can't work. Like I'm tired. And then my doctor was like, you can drink caffeine. I'm like, woohoo. So, but like during those, you know, after that, it was like work. Like I gotta work so hard until this baby's here. And even now that she's here, like I'm still working just as hard because this is my job, you know, like this is so important to me. And so, you know, obviously I've seen everything as far as like, you know, my paychecks dropping and stuff like that. But I really think like the biggest struggle for me was, you know, like having my baby and then like trying to balance like being a good mom and being a business owner, because all I've known the past 3 years before she was here is work. Like that's all I was doing. So I think it was really hard for me to be like, okay, she's sleeping. I need to work. I don't need to stare at her and wish that she was awake right now, you know? So I think that it's just like really, really important to like balance your time. But like whenever I was pregnant, like, I mean, I can say like, I never had morning sickness. So like, I haven't had like a terrible experience, you know, where I was super sick my pregnancy. It was just like, I'm literally all I have to do is work. Like that's all that I can do. And like those times where, at the time, Trey and I were living in a 1-bedroom apartment. So like the times where I was like, oh my gosh, I've been working for like 6 hours. Like you don't have to do that, guys. Like you literally don't. I was just doing that because like I knew I wanted to work really, really, really hard before she got here. And like my goal was to go triple before she got here. And guess what? That didn't happen. But I went triple with a freaking like 3-month-old baby or 3-week-old baby, you know? So it's just really, really like whatever is thrown at you, it doesn't matter. Like, and I don't even feel like I've had anything crazy. I mean, pregnancy and a baby is nothing compared to some things that people go through. You know, like some people deal with like death in their family or just so many other things. But I do know that no matter what, like this business is always going to be there for you. So when you have a death in your family or whenever you're going through whatever you may be going through, this business is going to give you that. Even if it's not right now, like say you're an executive and someone in your family just died and you're really upset about it. Like, no, you can't take a week off work because this is not your full-time job yet. You still work a 9 to 5. But in the future, if that were to ever happen, or if you ever were to get pregnant or whatever might happen, like this business is that vehicle for you to be able to take, you know, that time off if you absolutely need it. Like I know because of my pregnancy and like my labor and everything like that, like I was in the hospital for, I think like 6 days straight. And like during those 6 days, like it was so relaxing to know that I could just take a break, you know? Like, it's okay. I've worked so hard the past 9 months, you know, like I can relax. And I think that's really, really important to just know that no matter what happens, like you have to work through it. But in the end, it's going to give you that freedom, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and we always say on our team too, like every 6 months something happens in your life that really makes you realize why this business came into your life. And I know you make posts about it all the time about how different your life was before this business. You were Ashley then, and now you're completely like Ashley 2.0. And I think that's crazy how much your life can change, not even just your life things, like life events and stuff you're going through, but you as a person too. So I think that's awesome just to kind of watch that. So if you don't know why you joined yet, you're going to know, and it'll come and you're going to be like,
Yeah. That's what's so crazy. Like when I joined, I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire. Like Trey and I are going to travel the world. And it's like, nope. God's like, nope, you're going to have a baby today. Like I did not expect that. But that's exactly why I joined this business, because now that like we haven't like went publicly with it or anything like that, but like my fiance, like he's a stay-at-home dad. Like we both stay at home with our daughter. And like who would have known 4 years ago when I joined that would be the reason why I joined. Like it all just, it's just crazy how it just happens like that. And you just don't know that it's going to happen. So like your reason why you joined might be completely different in just a few years, but that's why it's just important to keep working every single day.
Mm-hmm. So what is your daily routine now that you're a mom, and what was it before, Chloe?
It's the exact same thing. It's just not freaking out if I'm not at my desk at like 7 a.m. I feel like whenever I had first joined, when I first started getting into like the routine of doing something every single day, it was actually, I have the exact date, it was August 22nd of 2017. I was like, okay, I'm going to make a to-do list every single day for the next 21 days and I'll get into a habit of doing it. So once I was in that habit of actually doing something every single day, I was like, okay, like no need to stop. I've seen results from this. I've maintained my diamond every single month through the winter. I have, gone double. But as far as like now having my daughter, like it's the same stuff every day, guys. It's the same stuff that we're told to do every single day. It's just not freaking out because I'm that kind of person. Like right when I wake up, I want to go sit in my desk and, I want to pray and I want to get my work done. I want to respond to my messages. But now it's like, okay, airplane mode on your phone before you go to bed. You got to feed your daughter. You got to put her back to bed and then you can work. It doesn't matter, what time of the day that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's just at the end of the day, like you said, you can pat yourself on the back and say, I did what I'm supposed to do. And I know that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's just everything that you guys already know how to do. It's just really going down to doing it every single day. Now, I will admit, if you guys haven't seen the video that Cami had posted, I think it was like, 3 days ago, I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And it was like, it's okay to take a break. And it was talking about how basically it was like a sermon from Mike Todd. And I'm not talking to the people who are like sending 30 messages a day. I'm talking to the people who have been sending like 100 messages a day for the past 2 years and are freaking drained. Like, it's okay, guys, but don't be lazy. Okay. I'm talking to the people who have been working their ass off for months and years. That's who I'm talking to. It's okay to take a break. Like today has been my break day. And then you're like, oh, I actually meant tonight's the Zoom, not tomorrow. And then our ambassador's like, can you be on the Zoom? I'm like, I guess there really isn't a break, but like today has been my day of just like spending time with my family. Like that is so important, but I can tell you like, so in the video, he had said that like McDonald's and Taco Bell, like they're open 24/7 and their like return on investment each year is like $1 million. And then there's Chick-fil-A who takes 1 day off and they're $5 million a year. So it's like, it's important. I'm not trying to say this to be rude, but like lazy people, this is not for you. I'm talking to the people who have literally been working their ass off and who just need a break and know that they need that break. Take it. It's okay. And like, I don't know why, but like today's been my day of like literally doing nothing. Like this is the first like actual work thing I've been doing is this Zoom. And like, I feel guilty, but like I shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like I've been working so hard. Like there's nothing wrong with taking a break. It's just really making sure that on those 6 days that you are working, you're doing every single thing. So you don't want to half-ass the other days, if that makes sense. So I think that if you want to take that 1 day off, really, really bust your ass the other 7 days and really do everything you're supposed to be doing, and then be, like, so today's my day off, and then the next 6 days and be like, okay, I can reward myself for another day off because I've worked every single day. Because there may be days where I'm like, I'm going to send 170 messages today and I only send like 70, like you got to do those things every single day. And then just give yourself that day off if you absolutely feel like you need it. Like I feel like I absolutely needed it and I feel so relieved and I'm ready like tomorrow to get back and just do it. And I'm like, if you're on my team, like you're like, who are you? Like you don't take days off. what are you talking about? But sometimes you need it. Sometimes you do it only if you've really been working hard, though. Don't just be some lazy person who's like, oh, I deserve a day off. No.
Yeah. And that all comes too just from being super intentional. Like you could literally take 24 hours in the day and work your business so hard for a few hours and take the whole day off. You know, like what I'm saying, you can't, if you're one of those people, you know, and it also depends on how you work your business too. Like I work my business all throughout the day of just responding here and there, sending messages here and there, following here and there because I can. But if you're someone, you know, maybe works or goes to school or, you know, you have a really busy schedule or you have multiple kids or whatever, it's never going to be you sitting down and working consistently for, you know, 2 hours at a time. It's going to be sporadic and it's going to be, you know, a mess, but just embrace that because that's how it is. This business is all on your own schedule and that's how it's supposed to be. So don't, like she said, don't freak out, you know, okay. And I know I'm going to use Sam on here. You know, Sam moved and she texted me and she was like, oh my gosh, like I feel like my life is a mess and I can't work my business because everything kind of changed a little bit, but she's happy to embrace that change. So always keep that in mind too.
Can I say something really quick?
Yeah.
So as far as like everybody remember when Facebook and Instagram were down for a day? Guys, it didn't go back up until like 9 p.m. But guess who at 9 p.m. was working? You know what I mean? Like the second that Facebook and Instagram are working again, I'm sending messages on Instagram. I'm sending host to post. Like that's what's so important. Like that day, like it was, that was the most stressful day of my life.
I was like, is it ever going to come back?
Right. And then like once the night was over, I signed 2 customers, but I could have gone to bed. You know what I mean? Like I could have just gone to bed and be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. But it's like, I knew that I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I didn't deserve a break yet, you know? So it's like whenever Instagram and Facebook were working at like 9:15, I'm like, okay, now it's time to go send my host post and do the work that the devil is trying to distract me from doing.
Mm-hmm. So true. So what do you think, because you were like, honestly, there's people that like mass enroll, but you were just like a consistent enroller. Like my team, everyone's like, oh my God, she enrolled another customer today. Oh my gosh, another one. Like you just enroll so consistently. And I love that. It's like at least once a day you're posting an enrollment. So what do you think goes into you enrolling consistently like that?
I mean, I feel like, yes, I'm putting in the work right now, but like you guys haven't seen the work that I've been putting in the past, 2 years. So I think, that is so, so important. You know, people will be like, I've been sitting here all day and I've been working since 7:00 in the morning and I haven't signed a customer. Well, guess what? Like, I don't know what you were doing 6 months ago. You know what I mean? So I think that that's so, so important. You know, if someone's enrolling more than you or they're promoting faster than you, and maybe you're enrolling more people this month than they are, but they promoted before you, like you don't know the people that they've enrolled in the past, and you don't know like the stuff that they've gone through and the leadership that they've been able to create within their team. But as far as just like, I mean, yesterday I posted like swipe up and type coffee. I text my team. I'm like, reply to my story and say coffee because I need you guys to get some, create some urgency. And like literally I signed 2 customers off of that one thing that said everyone wants the coffee. And they both replied to the story. They're like, okay, what is it? So it's like, I know I'm so annoying on my stories. The past 24 hours, I really haven't been like, I've just been like posting family stuff. But if you look at my stuff tomorrow, it's really annoying, but it's like, that's what works for me.
Want to buy your stuff. So
right. Like that's just what works for me. So like, I'm always circling like the enrollment and like, I'm saving that. And then I'm putting another text on top of that one. And I'm making stuff like pop up throughout my Instagram stories. If that doesn't work for you, don't do it. But I think just being like super obnoxious on my stories about like the products, how excited I am when I'm signing up a customer. I always post an enrollment when I'm signing up a customer. If I don't sign a customer, I go to my email and I'll scribble out the time. So nobody knows what time I signed the customer or the day that I signed my customer. I'm like, woohoo, I signed 5 customers today. No, I didn't sign any customers today. You know what I mean? But people think that I am, and they think the Skinny Coffee Challenge is about to end. So they're, it's creating that sense of urgency. Mm-hmm. But I think just really being bold and just celebrating the small things that are happening. And then obviously doing the work behind it. So like every single day I'm messaging people on my Instagram about like who, for example, it could be just someone who's like viewing my story, or I could send product model messages on Instagram, or it could be people who are liking my posts. So like you should never run out of people to message on your Instagram if you're adding to your network every single night before you go to bed or every single day. And then I'm sending host to posts every day. I have new host posts going up. I'm following up with people. I'll set my timer for like 15 minutes and follow up with people that I've talked to with like the day before. Sometimes I'll be like, it's this as a loyal, this is a retail. Do you want info on the 2 prices? They don't reply. You know what I mean? So it's your job to go back and reach out to them. There's a double diamond who she messaged me like right after I did a Zoom not that long ago. And like, I just opened the message and like, I literally forgot to reply. And she was like, did you get my message? And guys, it's not because like, I didn't want to respond to her. Like I did. I just literally right after she sent it, my daughter started crying. I had to feed her. You know, like life happens and like people aren't ignoring you. And I think that's so important to remember. Like a follow-up is not annoying. I think that like if you're in it for the right reasons and you really want to help them get the best results with the product and get their hands on that product, it's very, very important to continue to follow up with them. So every single day I'm following up with people, and just literally sending messages every day and being ignorant. It's so annoying on my story.
I love it though. And it makes me think of Courtney Sharp. She was talking to us on her Zoom about how, you know, she may not enroll that day, but she's like, oh my gosh, I had 5 conversations, you know, with 5 girls talking about how they were joining this business, and people have FOMO. They're like, oh my gosh, she's about to sign up these 5 people. Like, I need to be the 6th. So like, even, you know, Ashley saying like, it's not lying. Like you did enroll that customer. You're just saying you enrolled it on a different day. Like I do that all the time. Like I have screenshots of my old emails, and like, I'll take a screenshot of them on a day I had a really good day, and I'll post like business is booming. Yeah, it's booming. It's just not booming that day, and it's fine. Right. But I'm glad that you answered it that way, because you guys, you know, a lot of you new people, or, you know, people maybe that have been in it, you know, less than 5 months, are like, oh my gosh, like how is this girl enrolling 20 customers a month? Or like in the push chat, you see so many people blowing it up. You don't know what they've been doing. And if it makes you feel guilty, you're like, oh crap, they're enrolling so many customers. Why am I not? And you know why. You have to step it up. Like, you know, when people enroll, whether it's like a guilty, like, oh crap, I'm not enrolling, or it's a, oh my gosh, you know, that's so amazing, I'm working and they're going to come. It's a different mindset thing. And if you feel the bad one, the guilty one, it means you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing to enroll like they are. So I love that you answered that, because it's not now, you know, that's all the work you've been putting in for literal years. Right. How do you train your new distributors?
So this just recently changed within the past, probably I would say month or so. So instead of just like sending them a new distributor training or getting them on like a call like this, I've broken down like a new distributor training into 7 different videos. So it's like 5 minutes. The first video is going to be talking about like getting your first 4 customers and eSuite and, you know, making your first post. And that's like the first day. And then like the next day, I'm sending them the next video that I made, and that's about host the post. The next day after that, it's Instagram story. So I think just really breaking it down and being like, okay, we're going to have a 7-day training. And then after, you know, you've learned everything within these past 6 days. Now the last video, everything you just learned, you're going to throw that into one day. And it's been good for me, because like I have, I don't know exactly where it is, but it's like a list of, this is like my new distributor training. So like, this is embarrassing how many people just like don't do this business. And this just proves like you can be successful if not everyone does this. So like, look, there's one person out of, I don't even know, like 23 that got to the end of the 7-day training. All these people like got to like barely, you know what I mean? Like people just don't reply, but I know on my end, I'm doing everything I can for them. I'm literally making videos and like sending them scripts to send to people. And I'm doing everything that I can for them on my end. And I just turned it into a text replacement. I'm like, hey girl, good morning. I hope you're having a great day. This is the first day of the training. Next day, like it's just video by video for 7 days. But I think like for me, it's good for me to like hold myself accountable, and I'll put on my to-do list, reach out to new distributors for 10 to 15 minutes today. And I'll say like, hey girl, like I texted you the last video, but you didn't reply. Like, I'm not trying to annoy you. Like I have my own life. I have people who want to work this business. I have a daughter to take care of. Like if you don't want to respond to me and you don't want me to train you, then just let me know and I won't send you the next video. And I'll like literally on this, there's like 4 people. They're gone. 5. Because I never responded to me. And I'm like, 3 times, if I reach out to you and you don't respond, I'm not going to waste my time. And I think that's so important, especially as a new distributor. Whenever you sign someone, like you think they're going to take off and you think that they're going to want this as bad as you, and that's just not realistic. So I know, like I said, on my end, I'm doing everything that I can for them, and really breaking it down into those videos has been so helpful. And the people who have gotten past like the 5 days, I think there's like 4 of them now, they've all signed distributors and customers now. So I know that works. So I don't feel guilty on my end. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to train distributors now, because I was struggling with that at first. But because like you have people who like go freaking diamond in 90 days. And I'm like, what the hell? That's never happened to me before, you know? And so it's really easy to just get caught up in thinking you're not a good leader and that you don't know how to train distributors. But really, like, I have like peace of mind knowing I'm giving them everything that they want. If they don't want to do it, then that's on them. After the 7 days, it's just kind of like checking in with them every 2 to 3 days. Like, hey, how are you doing? Is there anything I can help you with? I've seen that you haven't really been posting on your story. This is how you're going to change your customers' auto shipment. Are you needing help with distributors? And just really all of that stuff. So
yeah. And our distributor training is pretty much similar in the ways of just like, I make a list of all my new distributors, literally make a list of them. I have, how many customers. I have a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 of how many customers they're enrolling. And I go down that list every single morning and I text them, because if you have new distributors on your team, it is not their responsibility to reach out to you. They are nervous. They are scared. They don't have a single clue what they are doing. They're lost, and they probably are, calling out. You have to call out the elephant in the room. They're probably super stressed out and they don't want to do this, or they're changing their mind or getting cold feet or whatever. So always make sure you're reaching out to your distributors so that you're holding you and them accountable too. What do you do when you feel like your mindset is kind of shifting? Like when you kind of wake up and you have like a funky day, or, that funky day turns into a funky week. What do you do when you feel like that?
So I felt like this was happening to me whenever, like right after I had my daughter, I'm like, oh no, I have postpartum depression. Like I don't want to work. And that's not like me. You know what I mean? Like that's not like me to not want to work. And I think it's really just like sitting down and like being like, guys, like if you don't work this business, you're literally throwing away so much that's possible for you. And I think that so many people will be like, oh, well, it just didn't work for me. And it's like, no, like this business works. You just have to put the work in. And like, if you stop working this just because you're having like a crappy day or a crappy week or whatever it might be, like you're throwing literally the chance away to like be a millionaire one day. And I think that so many people when they first start, like they don't think that they want to be a millionaire. For me, like that's always been my goal. Like I'm going to hit the top of this company. I don't care how long it takes me. So like the days that I am having bad days, I mean, just don't sit down and work if you're in a bad mood. Like you can get back to your work in a few hours. I'm not saying give it a week and get back to work. I'm saying, take your time to go take a bath or go get a massage or just drive around. Like if I'm having a bad day, literally I will tell Trey, hey, I got to go drive around and I got to pray. Like I will just get out of the house and I will like think about the last time like you've just been stuck in the house. Like go get some fresh air. Maybe you need to eat something healthier. Maybe you need to go work out. Like I don't know, do something. Like it doesn't have anything to do with the business. Maybe that's something you've been carrying along your, throughout your whole life. And now you're trying to blame the business. You know what I mean? Like unhappiness. So I think just like whenever, I know I just like went off on a tangent, but whenever I'm literally in a bad mood, I'm like, I got to go drive. Like I just have to get out of the house. I get away from this baby for like 5 minutes. And I need to get some fresh air. And I think that that's so important because, and like really think about like, what are you eating? Like whenever I was pregnant, I feel like I would be like so depressed. And it's like, well, yeah, Ashley, like you're just like eating chocolate and you're not doing anything but working. So you're probably sad, like, and there would be times where I'm like, okay, I need to just like go to TJ Maxx and I got to like shop or something. Like, even if I'm not going to buy anything, like let's just walk down every aisle and like get out of the house. Like if you're in a bad mood, do not sit there and try to work. It doesn't work out. Like go take a few hours to just breathe and get back to your work whenever you feel like your mindset's right. Because the worst thing you could do is sit there and be pissed off or whatever. You had a bad start to your morning and try to sit there and be like, dear Lord, please bless me this morning. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. You got to be in the right mindset. And then from there, you can start working. But don't start working if you're having a bad day. Like, just give it a few hours and see how you might feel, because that moods, like, it doesn't last forever. You're going to feel better in a few hours. Just start working whenever you're starting to feel better. But like Shanae, why the hell did I just say that? Cheyenne. Like she said, like, don't let it go days and weeks. Like, it doesn't work like that. This business is not going to work for you if you're working just on the days that you feel like working.
Mm-hmm. So. I always say, like, if you were working your 9-to-5 job and your boss said, hey, like, you haven't come to work the last 4 days, like, what's going on? You just say, oh, I'm just like not feeling it.
You're not going to get paid and you're going to get fired.
Your boss is going to say, okay, well, you're not feeling it. You can go find a new job.
Right.
So you having this business is 90% mindset, 10% work. And that's 100% true. Because if you're having a wacky mindset and you wake up and you're all negative Nelly and you're trying to say like, oh, well, I can't enroll this and I can't enroll that and this isn't working. And I don't know how to do this. Blah, blah, blah. Hello? Do you think you're going to have anything that's good going to come out of that? Absolutely not. But if you also don't show up to your business every single day, do you think you're going to get paid? Do you think you're going to promote? Do you think that your team is going to do exactly what you're doing? Yes, they are. And then pretty soon, no one on your team is going to be working and you're not going to be producing any enrollments, no promotions, no nothing. mindset is huge, but you have to make sure that it's not completely controlling everything that you're doing. How do you get, so I know you just went triple, so this is a good question to ask you because you're probably still having like PTSD from how stressful it was. But how did you pull in that last minute GV for your promotions?
So what's crazy is that I was like 2,800 away at the end of January. And like my whole team was leaving for conference, and I'm just like a postpartum depressed lady over here, all sad. And I obviously wasn't going to conference. I just had my daughter like 2 weeks ago. And so like I was like 2,800 away on the last day of the month. This was in January, guys. So I didn't hit it that month, but I was like literally putting it out there. Like, I'm going triple this month because I thought like, what could happen at the end of the month. And it probably could have happened, but guess what? My team was excited to leave for conference. I was upset thinking I'm going to have to do it on my own. So whenever I actually went triple, I hit it on the 25th. Like I literally had to move one customer and I had hit it on the 25th. So as far as going triple, like I feel bad saying this, but it was literally effortless. Like, yes, I had been putting the work in months before, but as far as like that actual month of hitting it, like it had already hit because I already knew I was going to hit it. I was moving all the customers and distributors. I had done the projected volume from the month before. I knew exactly where the volume had to be. But as far as like whenever I went double, like it was really just like latching arms with those people who needed it. Getting on Zoom with those people at the end of, not even at the end of the month, through the month. Like, okay, let's divide the volume that you need and see how many cleanses you need. And then we're going to divide that by how many people, like say there's 5 of you and whatever. I'm not going to do the math because I'm just going to make myself sound stupid. But figure out how many cleanses you need based on the GV. And that's how I always look at, or like coffee and greens, that's 60 volume right there. And then really what I did at the end of January, even though I didn't hit it, I had reached out to all of my loyal customers. And this was a pain in the ass. Like I literally went to TreeViewer and I clicked show loyal customer. If you've ever done that before, it's the most stressful thing ever. But I went through every single person. I went through my personally enrolled customers that were still underneath me when I first joined 4 years ago. I went under all of Trey's customers, my mom's customers, literally any distributor in my downline because I moved customers for fast starts, obviously. I went through there and I literally texted every single one of them about the ThermoFight X, and 12 customers placed an order for the ThermoFight X. So I don't even know the math on that. I'm not even going to try. But that would have had to been 12 new customers. Reach out to the customers that you already have. You know what I mean? Like I think that's so important. People get so caught up in like, oh, I need this many customers. You already have people. The people who ordered the ThermoFight X last month and they still haven't gotten it, guess what I'm saying? Switch to the coffee and greens. You're going to get it faster. You'll probably get the same results. Guess what? That's more BV on my end, and they want the results faster. So I think that it's so, so important to take care of the customers that you already have. And I know it's annoying, but like if you're pushing towards a promotion, you have not gone through TreeViewer and clicked show loyal customers and reach out to every customer in that 400 box. Even if they're not in the 400 box, the way charts are now, you can have volume anywhere. So reach out to literally every single customer underneath you that you have personally enrolled and ask them if they want, and I can even send it to Cheyenne and she can post on your guys' page what I said. And it was like to the point. This product just launched. Do you want more information? They said yes. I told them about the product. And I'm like, do you want me to place an order for you? Like, because I sign all the customers myself. I know their customer ID number and their password. I know how to log into their account. So really making sure that you're reaching out to them, and then really like just believing in the people who are in those spots. Like whether if it was someone who was like a 400 box or a Ruby, like I made it a big deal every single time. Like, oh my God, you're so close to 400. Like granted, yeah, they're brand new. They don't even know what that means. But like for me, I think that's a huge deal to just be like congratulating somebody on something. So I was like, okay, like you're close to 400. As far as like the rubies and the diamonds and like just everyone, I was like, okay, like we're going to do this as a team. And I think that, no, I wasn't like, you have to hit this for me to hit this. Like nobody ever felt like that, but they wanted to be a part of that and they wanted to hit it together because I made them feel loved, if that makes sense. Like I wasn't like, you need to hit this promotion for me to hit my promotion. If you don't hit it, like I'm not going to hit mine. Like it's not about you. And I think that's so important to like gather as a team and make sure that they know that, you know, you care about them. And then that's going to like, whenever I hit triple, there were 3 diamonds who hit it that didn't even need to be on my chart because I locked arms with people everywhere because it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if they're on your chart or not. It's just really, really like connecting with those people and being a good leader to them and letting them know that you're there for them if, you know, they need that help, and just, you know, zooming with them and like figuring out their volume. Like with people who are promoting this month, I'm like, how's your promotion looking? You know what I mean? Even though it has nothing to do with me going Prez, how's your promotion looking? Like, is there anything I can do to help you? You know what I mean? Like reach, and you even told me this, Cheyenne, you're like, it doesn't matter, like, as far as like going like the 3 legs, like get 5 legs working. You know what I mean? Because that's what's going to help you maintain your rank. And so like that 400 box, who was a 400 box last month, let's start working on them getting to executive, and then ruby, and then emerald and diamond. It's like just really not just looking at a 400 box and being like, okay, like, yeah, like if someone's signing a lot of customers, like you need to pump them up to get distributors so that they can get fast starts, you can get cabs, and you can continue to promote. So I think that it's just really, really important to just look at like every single day, multiple times a day. I'm looking at my genealogy report. Who's enrolling customers? You know what I mean? And then I am, as far as just like really, really making sure that I'm like staying connected with every single person. There were people like my mom's leg is like an elephant leg for me, and it freaking sucks. This chick is blessed, and it sucks, honestly. But like people, Haley's laughing because she's underneath my mom. It sucks. But it's fine, because if they weren't, like, I wouldn't have been able to go triple. But it's like, whenever I look at that, it's like, if there's like for last month, my friend Jordan, she was going for diamond, and it's like, I didn't want to move customers to help her. You know what I mean? But like her going diamond was a big deal for me. So I wanted to help her. You know, if I signed a 30 BV, I'm like, let's knock it out together. You know what I mean? And I knew for a fact it wasn't going to mess with like the volume that I needed for each leg. But just really being giving to those people on your team, like helping them hit promotions. Don't give them, there's never been a person on my team who's like gone ruby or emerald, and I'm like, woohoo, you did it, if I did it for them. But if we did it together as a team, like, you need to celebrate that. But I mean, I just think that it's really, really important. I don't even know, like, if that even answered your question, but
yeah, it did. Yeah. I did that for presidential, and I got blocked from texting for texting all of my customers. Jade is like really big on that. And every time I would tell her like how close I was, she's like, did you text your customers? Did you text your customers? Because if you think about it, like, yeah, you may have enrolled 25 customers this month or whatever, but you have like a billion in them 4 in your downline that you've already enrolled that, you know, maybe stop their challenge, or, you know, they've been watching your post. It never hurts to reach out to them and make sure you turn off your iMessage in the process. How do you seal the deal? And specifically, like, when it gets down to like telling them the price and they like, you know, kind of fade off, or you're like in that moment right then, what do you do?
So I've been doing the same exact thing. So I will just say, like, so say for example, someone swiped up on my story and they're like, okay, what's the coffee? I explain what the coffee is. And immediately once I explain it, I'm like, do you want price information? Obviously they're going to say yes. And I always say, okay, so it's $39 as a loyal customer, $65 as a retail. Do you want information on the 2 prices? They say yes. I'm like, okay, so a retail customer is just a one-time payment. And I keep that so short. Like, I think that's so important, like, to keep like the retail so short. It's a one-time payment for whatever product you'd like, but it's more expensive. And then like the rest of the message, which is like 3/4 of the message, is talking about the loyal customer program. So I'm like, as a loyal customer, you'll receive my 40% off discount. You'll just get 1 product a month for 3 consecutive months. You can always switch the product if you want to, and you'll have full access to your customer account. What sounds best? And so, like, obviously when I'm focusing this much on the retail and they're seeing all of these benefits of the loyal customer program, they're going to say loyal customer. So say for example, someone was like, oh, like, your discount sounds great. I'll say, okay, great. So we can hop on a quick phone call to get you signed up, or you can send me your information through here. I'm never saying like, I can walk you through my site, because chances are they're never going to go through my site. I've said 3 consecutive months. I'm not saying 90-day challenge. You know what I mean? Like, they know they're ordering for 3 consecutive months. And I say that. And so I'm literally, in the 4 years I've been doing this business, I've never paid a $50 membership fee ever, because I've always been in contact with my customers. I've always made sure they know about the 3-month program. And then they'll say like, oh, literally whenever I say like, we can hop on a call, or you can send me your information through here, 80% of people are like, oh, like, my daughter's crying, or, you know, whatever, I'm busy, or I'm about to go to sleep. Like, I'll just send it through here. And I just say, okay, cool. Here's everything, or switch that up. I'm like, okay, so let's say they're like, oh, we can send everything through here. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Do you want me to send you everything that I need? I can get it placed before I head to the store, before I feed my daughter, before I go to bed. Like, creating that sense of urgency where they're going to send that within the next 10 minutes. Like, because I think that's so important, because they're like, they know you're waiting on them to send them their info, or to send you their information. So I'll like, my text replacement literally says, okay, great, that's fine. Do you want me to send you a picture of everything that I need, and I'll get it placed before I head to the store? Obviously at like 9 o'clock at night, I'm not heading to the store. So I'm going to say before I feed my daughter, you know what I mean? Or before I hop on this call. So they're always like, yeah, that's fine. And I just say, it's literally a text replacement. Here's everything I need. I'll delete it within 20 minutes. You'll get a confirmation email confirming your order. And then I send the picture that I need. And then I say, it's a text replacement. It says, if you want to text me, that's fine too. And I give them my phone number. And I feel like that's just like, because I'm normally talking to people through Instagram or Facebook Messenger. They're always like, okay, yeah, I'll text you, or they'll just send it through there. I know that's like longer than you wanted, but that's literally how I explain it. And I always sign people up myself. I think I've probably signed like 15 customers up, like they've signed themselves up through my website within the past 4 years. I do not like giving people my website, but if there's like that old lady from a Host to Post who just doesn't want to give me her information, I'm like, okay, cool. You can go through my website and do it. But like, I'll walk them through my website. Mm-hmm. I'll be like, okay, this is my website. Text me whenever you get to my site. Instead of just being like, this is here, this is there, check out with a loyal customer. Like, I want them to tell me when they're on my site, because again, that creates that sense of urgency.
Mm-hmm. That's so good. How do you stay organized with your business and like everything you have going on?
Oh gosh. I am
the answer, you don't.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I used to be like so organized, but I feel like now, my life is just here and there. Like, I'm working this business whenever it's convenient for me. So yes, whenever I, like, let's say a year ago when I was talking to potentials, I had like this cute little list of potentials and I would write their name down, you know, but like at the end of the day, like, we're not even friends with half of the people we're talking to through Facebook, if it's through Host to Post. So it's kind of like, I'm not going to write their name down. What I do, I'll go through, like I said, I'll spend like 15 minutes a day just going through the people I talked to before. So that's follow-ups. On Fridays, I go to my messenger and I type in retail, and that's going to show like the customer. Trey's ridiculous. Just showed me my daughter's diaper that's full of poop right now. He's like, help me. But I can't. So I'll type in like retail, and it will show like all the people I've talked to within the past week. So it'll show like Saturday to Thursday. So I'll just be like, hey, I'm placing orders today. I can go ahead and get yours in. So just following up with people through Messenger, and just typing stuff in through there. And then as far as collections, I told myself I was going to be better about this because it works. Like, I know that just saving people on Instagram through collections is huge. And I used to do it. I don't know why I haven't been doing it that much lately. I think it's just because I've been getting so many more customers through Host to Post. But if people are swiping on your story, guys, you need to be like writing their name down somewhere, or you need to be saving them in a collection. I'm preaching to myself right now because like they're interested. And I can't tell you how many people I've talked to this past week about like being a distributor. And then I talk to them, I'm like, yeah, can I walk you through my site? And then I go send 170 messages on Instagram, and I don't want to scroll all the way down to the bottom and be like, hey, did you go through my site? Like, save them in a collection or screenshot. I know Haley, anytime she's talking to somebody, she'll just screenshot it, and it's saved in her screenshot albums to where every day she can go back to those people she was talking to if she didn't have the time to get back to them right away. But I mean, like, literally I'm not organized at all. And I know that sounds bad. The only thing I'm organized with is this like distributor sheet. And just making sure that I'm reaching out to my distributors. But as far as customers, it's literally all over the place. It's so bad.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not organized at all about anything. Like, you should see my room right now. But, you know, I just go through my messenger like that. I go through every single day. I go through my Instagram messages because I message like, you know, 3 times a day. So when I message at night, I just go back and scroll. Like, you can see the dates when they changed back to like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. I just go back and I just go through each of my messages like that. So you don't have to be organized. I think it's whatever works best for you. Some people cannot deal with not being organized, and that like affects the way you work your business, but some people don't. And I think it's just kind of embracing like what works best for you, because if I tried to be organized with lists and all that, I think I would be diamond still. Because I can't deal with that. And I think it takes too much time for me to write down everyone where I found them and stuff like that. But I'm going to go through the chat and see what we've missed here. In the meantime, while I'm looking through all of these, can you give one, like, just a few tips or whatever you want to say about to the people that are promoting? You know, maybe they are looking at how much volume they have left and they're like, I don't know, like, if this is going to happen, or like, I don't know what to even be doing right now. Like, what would you say?
Okay. So I was talking to somebody about this the other day. So guys, like, it's okay. Like, I know you want to promote, but like, if it doesn't happen, guys, like, literally, this was me. I literally was so devastated on January, whatever, the last day of the month. I was devastated that I didn't hit triple. I had signed 80 3 customers that month, I'm like, I'm hitting triple. Like, there's no way that I'm not hitting it. You know, every customer that was coming in, like, oh my gosh, like it's happening this month. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. I just had my daughter. Like, like, it has to happen. And like the fact that it didn't happen, it was like so devastating, but don't give up on it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't give up until I still didn't even give up. But like that last day of the month when I had like 2,800 volume to get, and I knew that I was going to have to do it on my own, like, because the volume that was needed was already, like, the people who were working were already in their positions. You know what I mean? That other volume were people who were doing absolutely nothing, down to like executives and stuff like that. Not saying executives don't do anything, but you know what I'm saying? You have to build people. Okay. So it was like so devastating that I didn't hit it, but like, just jump back in. Like, do not like count yourself out until like it's midnight. You know what I mean? Like, I was still up, even though I had 2,800 volume to go, I was still up at like 11 o'clock that night signing customers. Like, that's what I was doing. And I was like trying to move these customers to get the fast start, to get that 400 box done. And I think that that's so, so important to just not give up. And guess what? The next month I came back stronger. We had better charts. It was easier for me to promote, and I got a bonus on top of it. So you don't know what's right around the corner, but I will tell you that as far as like $20 codes, those are not going to be extended. From bonuses, we don't think those are going to be extended. So like, work your ass off now. You have what, 6-7 days. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. And I know we always say it, like, it's literally like Jesus volume. Like, you don't know where it's coming from, but it's happening. And it's like, you have to ask boldly. Like, every single day, I'm like, thank you for the customers that are coming into my organization. Customers are coming from the north, south, east, and the west. Hi, big BV orders. My distributors are getting customers. Those people who are in those positions, like, those customers are coming. And like, I'm working for Trey to go double this month. And tomorrow morning, I'll find out exactly where his numbers are. And it's going to be roughly like 800 to 1,000 volume that I'm going to have to do on my own. But guess who's going to get it done? I'm going to get it done. You know what I mean? So I think that it's just like, it's literally just doing it, whether like you feel like it's going to happen or not, because it doesn't matter. You're closer that next month, because if you sign a customer on the last day of the month, they're going to order again next month. So like, all of those orders, the only thing that I was bummed out about is that I had all of those customers who placed those orders in January for the ThermoFight X, but that didn't affect my volume at all in February. But I was still doing it. I was still reaching out to customers, current customers. So I think it's just so, so important to just work with the people who are working. If you're looking at a chart and like, literally the most annoying thing is like, well, I have to get this person to Ruby for me to go Emerald. Nobody cares. It's your promotion. You know what I mean? Nobody has ever heard it come out of my mouth that for Trey to go double, I have to build an Emerald. Nobody knows who that Emerald is. Nobody knows who the rubies are underneath that Emerald, because I haven't talked about it, because I know that I'm just going to do it on my own. So I think just like taking accountability for the things that you have to get done, and just do it. Don't blame anybody else. Don't worry about how many customers this person hasn't signed, and just be like, okay, if that girl's not going to sign the 6 customers for the cleanse, guess who's going to do it? It's going to be me. And I'm going to get higher, big BV orders. And I think upselling is huge. If you are not, like, every time I have someone's customer information, once I have their information, so for example, if I'm talking to someone about the ThermoFight X, once I have their info, I'm talking to them about adding the fat fighters or adding the cleanse. Once I have their info, I do not just ask them like before I have their information, because then that could like scare them, and they'll be like, well, I wasn't planning on spending, $72 or whatever it might be. So I think it's just so, so important to upsell, because chances are, like, I don't know, we were on a Zoom, I don't know who it was. I was doing it, but I don't remember who I was talking to, but I had like 6 customers who signed up, and it was all for the ThermoFight X, and 5 out of 6 of them added the fat fighters. That's 100 volume right there. More than, I don't know. I suck at math. Okay, so 125 volume right there. Okay. So I think it's just upsell like these people, reach out to those customers that you have. Just don't point your fingers, and don't be mean to your team. Like, if your team's not ready to promote, do it without them. Like, it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. But do not make someone feel like if they don't hit their promotion, you're not going to hit yours, because it's nobody's responsibility but your own to just do it.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people just miss out on promotions because they're like, well, I have to build Ruby and this Ruby's not working. Build the freaking Ruby. Yeah, like, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want that paycheck or that bonus or whatever it is? I mean, I would have never got to presidential if it wasn't for me building so many dead legs.
Right.
You have that part of your team that's hustling and working, but you're going to have so many people who just don't understand.
Right. I agree.
There weren't really any questions that we didn't answer. So it sounds like Chloe needs you. So
her dad can deal with it. I'm just kidding.
How many friends and followers do you have to be getting that many customers a month?
So whenever I started, I literally started my Instagram from nothing. So I literally was that person who was so worried about what everybody thought. I started a brand new Instagram 3 years ago, and now I've built it up to like 11.2K followers. So yeah, people will be like, oh, she gets a lot of customers and distributors from her Instagram. But like I said, again, you don't know the work that I put in the past 3 years. You don't know like the following that I built. I literally started from 0 followers, and I built that up. And then as far as like Facebook people, I mean, like I used to have 4,999 Facebook friends. I've been deleting people left and right. Like I send host posts, they don't respond to me, I'm deleting them. So I'm down to like 3,200 friends on Facebook. Just within the past like few months, I've been deleting people off Facebook so that I can keep room for people who do want to post for me and who do like my stuff and who are interacting with me and who want to join my team in the future. So, I mean, I have 3,200 Facebook friends, but I've had 5,000 before. It really doesn't matter. It's just the quality of those people. Are they liking your posts? Are you building a relationship with them? So when you do send them a host post, they're not like, okay, who the hell are you? You know?
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing too is I know the person's asking that just because they're like, how the heck do you enroll that many customers? Guys, it doesn't matter how many people you have on your social media. I mean, when I was going double diamond in March last year, like I just realized when you said that I promoted a year ago to double. I think I've thought about that, but that's like weird. It's crazy. But you guys, I had never enrolled over 20 customers. I enrolled 19 customers when I went diamond. I thought that I was the coolest person in the world, which 19 is a lot. But, you know, when I was going double, I hit 79 customers that month. And before that, you know, I always thought that it was a special talent. I was like, oh my gosh, you have to be some unicorn to enroll that many customers. Guys, I put my head down. I did not let a single person slip through the cracks. I was talking to every single person I could. That's the month I discovered Host to Post. That's the month I got my own personal results, and it exploded from then. Like now I know I can enroll 200 customers if I put my mind to it. It doesn't matter how many people you have on your social media. I've seen brand new distributors, you know, with barely any following because they've never done this before, enroll 20, 30, 40 customers right off the bat. It's just a matter of like you deciding and you doing it. It has nothing to do with how many people you have on your social media.
Well, and like another thing, it's like some people like, yeah, you may have like a good amount of followers and like you may get likes on stuff. But, like if your stories are crap, and like they're blurry, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. There's nothing that makes me cringe more than when I see you post something that's yours, Cheyenne, and then I see it like screenshotted 50 times and it's blurry and you can't even read what the hell it is. Like, guys, make your own stuff. Like, if you know what her story says, just make it yourself. Like, it's just like, and I even told you that. You're like, what are you doing to sign so many customers? I'm not using other people's stories. You know what I mean? Like, if I am, it's clear. I am not using somebody's story if it's freaking blurry. And I don't know what you guys are thinking. I would never join someone if their story is blurry as heck and I can't even read what it says. I think that is so, so important. Like never. I literally don't use that stuff. Ever. Look at my story. And if I do it, it's because I'm making it myself. And I think that's so important to be you. And that's the month that I was freaking out. I'm like, I'm not signing customers. I'm not signing distributors. I stopped doing that. And I think that was in October, Haley, right? I think. I started circling stuff. I started being me. I started posting videos of me. I started just using pictures of me and popping stuff up back and forth. And that's when I started really getting more enrollments from my Instagram. So if you have a good following on Instagram, you're not signing people, look at your story. Is it yours? Is it blurry? Would you join you? I think that's very, very important. Or would you buy a product from you if you're using some blurry ass picture?
Mm-hmm. I love it. But I think that's all the questions that we had. Thank you so much for doing this on your day off. I literally posted it on my team page that this Zoom was tomorrow because I thought it was Saturday because I never know what day.
Right.
My team's probably like, dude, what are you doing? But I know we appreciate it. They've been begging to have you on a Zoom for so long because they all look up to you. But thank you so much. You inspire me too. And I'm so proud of you. And I can't wait to watch you go, Prez.
Oh, thank you so much. Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Night.